Hi and welcome back. Today we're looking at the auto buttonhole feature on the Pfaff Ambition 610. I'm also going to be showing some common issues of buttonholes and maybe why you get frustrated and how to fix those problems, so stay tuned till the end for that. This was specifically requested, and a lot of the setup will be very similar to other machines. I also have a video doing an automatic buttonhole on my mechanical Singer Esteem 2, so I will link that down in the description box if you're interested in that. I know they can be super intimidating, but I don't want you to be discouraged by buttonholes. Once you embrace them, you'll find an entire world of different patterns to try because now you do buttonholes. The biggest tips I can give you are to be patient and prepare as well as you can. Don't rush, don't do the buttonholes when you're tired. Do as many tests as it takes to get it perfect. Preparation really is the key to success. So here's the foot we'll be using. So on this foot you'll find that it slides open and shut or longer and shorter, and that's where we place our button. And on the bottom of the buttonhole foot there is kind of a rubber U shape to hold onto the fabric. Part of the presser foot that attaches to the machine also slides back and forth on the presser foot, and that's what's going to allow the presser foot to move on the fabric to create the length of the buttonhole. It also has the shank that attaches to your sewing machine, similar to any other sewing machine foot you have. And then it has the little guide where the needle goes and these markings on it. And these pieces on the side are what's going to push on the lever to tell the sewing machine what to do in terms of making the buttonhole. So we're going to grab a button here and stick it in. So we just open it up and then put the button in and close it to secure the button in there. Now let's attach it to the machine just like any other presser foot. First I'm going to disengage my IDT, remove the presser foot that's on there, place this new presser foot underneath, and then lower the presser foot lifter down to click into place. Okay, so now we're going to do our tests. Ideally, you want your samples to be identical to the final piece. That means using the same fabric, same number of layers, and the same interfacing if necessary. Because the tensions, pressure, and thread interaction depend on all these characteristics, we want to mimic the official garment. That also means the same thread. It is also important to use the right needle for the job. Ballpoint, stretch, or jersey for knits, universal for wovens, microtex for finer fabrics, and so on. Everything we set up is how we want the final buttonhole to be, i.e., no need to do anything different for testers. First, we need to decide on a style. Your project may call for different looks, or you may have a personal preference. I will say from my experience, options with rounded or curved parts tend to be harder to get set initially, especially on knits. For this video, we'll do a basic rectangle buttonhole on some woven fabric, as well as the more elevated keyhole look on knit fabric. So let's start with the simple one, stitch 19. Your machine will automatically set the density and width of the stitches. The density is how close the stitches are to each other, and the width is how wide the individual stitches are. And I typically leave these as is. The tension will depend on your sample, but we'll start with 4 and adjust as needed. The size of the hole is dependent on your button. When we put it in the foot becomes the calibration for the buttonhole because of the 2 pegs that push the levers back and forth. As the buttonhole moves back, the peg will kick on the lever, telling the machine to switch functions or directions. The same thing happens when the foot slides back into its relaxed position. This is all mechanically done, so you do not need a computerized machine to have an automatic buttonhole. Alright, now after we've done a test, we check our stitches. Is everything good, or are there skipped stitches or puckering? Check the tension. Are the threads looking good on both sides of our buttonhole? And the size. Cut her open and see if your button fits through. You can either use a seam ripper for this, put a pin at the end so you don't slice right through your new buttonhole, or a craft knife, or if you have some little sharp scissors, that works too. Continue this process until you get the buttonhole that you desire. So some common issues when making buttonholes are the button is too big to fit in the buttonhole foot, my threads are breaking, there's tension and needle issues, It's a tangled mess. It's not moving at all. And it's not switching when it's supposed to be switching. The first thing I would check is my tension and my needle. Am I using the right needle for the job? And is my tension too tight? Is it breaking needles? Is the thread not coming off the spool the way it should be? Is my bobbin threaded properly? Is my bobbin jumping around? Do I need to clean my machine? You want to eliminate all of those factors that you have control of aside from the actual buttonhole function itself. If you've done all that and you're still getting issues, then check your fabric. Is your fabric too bulky that it's not going through the presser foot nicely? Is it too thin and the tension is just, you can't get your tension set low enough where it will actually still make a nice stitch on this thin fabric and it's just making a giant mess of your fabric? In that case, I would probably put some tissue paper or computer paper underneath and try that way. Make sure you're using a Microtex needle, and if you can reduce the pressure on your presser foot, I would also recommend trying that. If it's not moving at all, this can be a bulky issue. Try with a lighter weight fabric and see if it's working fine, and if it is, and you need to then move to your bulky fabric, you might need to help it along. And I don't recommend this lightly because it's not the best solution, but if you need to just like give it a little nudge to get going or gently help move it along, I have done that before. You just want to make sure that you're allowing it to make the stitches the size and shape that they need to be, so that things aren't getting distorted or not enough stitches where they need to be to give a secure buttonhole. Another common problem is just not having the lever down and set properly. The Pfaff Ambition 610 actually has some safety features to kind of make this more idiot-proof. So if that lever isn't down all the way, properly engaged, the buttonhole function will not start. As you're seeing here and hearing this ding, it's telling me I'm not doing this. The other function is that if the buttonhole foot is not at its completely contracted or relaxed position, then it will not work. And I'm gonna get the same ding here. I made my buttonhole, it looks great, but my button won't fit through it. Well, you might need to make a bigger buttonhole. This can happen when your button is actually thicker than the standard or the average. And if you see here, I'm comparing these two buttons, and one is slightly thicker than the other and it doesn't want to go through. The black one does not want to go through the fabric as easily as the brown one does. And this is a simple fix. You just put it in the presser foot, same way you would normally. And then I just click it open 1 or 2 more notches depending on how thick the buttonhole is, and then I try it that way. Just keep note of how much more you opened it, and then that should give you enough space. Again, do a practice buttonhole just to be sure. But what if the button doesn't actually fit in the presser foot at all? It's way too big, like this one I'm showing you right now. Well, there is a way to do that. If we look back at the buttonhole feature and the way it works, all this presser foot does is knock on this lever to tell it what to do. Something we can do with our hands. Now, we can't do it with the buttonhole foot on the machine because it will want to push on the lever itself, but we can do it with our regular universal presser foot. So how I'm doing this is I am measuring the size of my button. So I want to measure the width of the button, or the diameter, as well as the height, because we cannot adjust for the width of the buttonhole or the thickness of the buttonhole. The buttonhole is set at a specific width, and we really can't change that unless we switch buttonhole features. So we're just going to add some length to our measurement. So in my case, this was 3 centimeter button, and the thickness of it was 1/2 centimeter. So I am going to mark out 3.5 centimeters on my fabric here. And again, this is going to take some trial and error to get exactly the right size buttonhole you want. But once you have it marked out, you can then take it to your machine and manually do the buttonhole. The one I'm going to show you did not turn out great because I was filming, but the one that I did before it turned out really nicely. So what you want to do is kind of have some pressure on that lever to start with. Otherwise, your machine will not go if it has a safety feature like I mentioned about the lever being all the way down. it also needs to have pressure on that lever. So just kind of hold your thumb on there, and it doesn't matter how much pressure you put on it. It's like an on-off switch. It can't be halfway or there's no degree of on or off or go or stop. It's just a click. So have some pressure on there to get it going, then you can let it go. Continue down to your end mark and then tap it from the back now to move to the next step of the buttonhole. And then it'll come all the way down again. And then you tap it from the front to go over to the other side. It's gonna go all the way back up that side, tap it again from the back, and then it'll come back down to the end where you tap it one final time to finish the buttonhole. So again, here's the one that didn't really turn out, and here's the really nice one that I'm super proud of, because making this video is the first time I've actually tried this technique. And I think it worked awesome. Okay, that's all I have for you in this video. If you have any further questions, please let me know down in the comments below. If it was helpful, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I will see you in the next video. Bye!